The Inheritance of Hunger: How Korea's 1949 Science is Feeding the World. A field in Uganda. Before the sun rises over the hills of eastern Uganda, Fatuma steps into her rice field, bare feet, sinking slightly into the damp soil. For most of her life, this land has defied her. The plants often grew thin, the rains arrived unpredictably, and her harvest rarely filled the sacks she hoped it would. Some years she rationed meals so her children could eat. But this season, the field looks different. The rice stands taller. The leaves are greener. The field feels alive in a way she has never seen. The change did not arrive as a handout or emergency shipment. It arrived quietly in the form of seeds and knowledge brought by a small team working under a name she had never heard before, KOPIA. What Fatuma could not yet know was that her story was connected to a much older one, rooted in another country that once knew hunger, even more intimately than she did. The memory Korea never forgot. The story of KOPIA does not begin in Africa. It begins in Korea in the bitter winter of 1949. That year, on January 6th, the newly established Korean government created a modest research organization called the Central Agricultural Technology Institute. At the time, Korea was one of the poorest nations in the world. Food was scarce. War would soon push the country into deeper desperation. But the establishment of that small institute marked a promise. Hunger would not be Korea's future. Over the next decade, agricultural research expanded, and in 1962, these institutions merged into the Rural Development Administration, RDA, the central force behind Korea's agricultural transformation. Here is where science met survival. RDA became the engine driving Korea's efforts to escape chronic hunger. Researchers developed improved seeds, better irrigation methods, and modern farming education. Their most famous achievement was Tongil rice, Unification rice, a high-yield hybrid variety that helped Korea reach rice self-sufficiency in the 1970s. Tongil rice wasn't just a scientific success. It was a national turning point, proof that hunger could be defeated with knowledge, persistence, and shared effort. And Korea did not forget what it felt like to be hungry. This memory would become the moral foundation for what the world now knows, as KOPIA officially launched in 2009. What KOPIA stands for? KOPIA, short for Korea Partnership for Innovation in Agriculture, is more than a development project. It is the expression of a nation's lived experience. A country that once struggled with hunger and now chooses to help others overcome it. While many global programs offer temporary relief, KOPIA offers something different. Knowledge as an inheritance, solutions built through partnership, science shared from a place of understanding. Its method follows a clear, purposeful path adopted from Korea's own agricultural reforms. 1. Joint research and technology development, 2 to 3 years. Korean and local scientists work together to create improved seeds, farming techniques, and tools suited to the exact climate and soil of each region. 2. Demonstration in model farms, 2 to 3 years. Pilot plots allow farmers to witness the differences firsthand: healthier plants, stronger harvests, and better resilience against drought or disease. 3. Dissemination. Across villages, 3 to 5 years. Once proven successful, the innovation spread to community farms, empowering entire villages to adopt the new methods. This approach is slow, intentional, and deeply rooted in cooperation. It reflects Korea's belief that true change grows from the ground up, one village and one family at a time. A map of challenges and solutions. Today, KOPIA operates 23 centers across Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Central Asia, each tailored to the specific challenges of the region. Africa, battling drought and food insecurity. Countries Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, Senegal, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Algeria. Challenges: unreliable rains, weak soil, high dependence on staple crops. Here, the most transformative project is the K-Rice Belt, a multinational effort to introduce resilient, high-yield Korean rice varieties. These seeds, descendants of the scientific lineage that began with Korea's Tongil rice, have produced 3,562 tons of elite seed in 1 year. In some fields, yields increased from 1 ton per hectare to 4 or 5 tons. For families like Fatuma's, the difference isn't measured in numbers. It's measured in meals, income, and security. Highlands of Asia and Latin America, farming against the elements. Countries Laos, Mongolia, Bolivia, Ecuador. Challenges: cold winters, high altitudes, weak soils. In Laos, modern orchard management brought startling results. In some pilot villages, citrus yields rose by 853%, transforming dying orchards into thriving groves full of bright, market-ready fruit. In Mongolia, where winter can kill livestock overnight, KOPIA introduced FTMR, a fermented winter feed. The result? Cattle surviving with an additional 40 to 45 kilograms of healthy weight, giving herders stability they have never known. Tropical Asia, feeding growing populations. Countries Cambodia, Vietnam, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Pakistan. Challenges: disease-prone crops, limited land, rising demand. In Cambodia, KOPIA helped develop CHMCO1, the country's first high-performing hybrid corn. Dry season yields rose 13%. Rainy season yields rose 9%. Farmer income increased 23%. In Vietnam, 2 disease-resistant peanut varieties increased production by more than 50%, giving farmers a new level of stability. Every result traces back to the same origin. Korea's memory of hunger transformed into practical innovations. Why KOPIA works. Some development programs struggle because they impose solutions instead of building them together. KOPIA works differently. Its scientists remember a time when Korea stood in the same place many partner countries stand today. That empathy shapes their approach. KOPIA's success grows from shared memory. The program is not built on charity but on recognition of a universal struggle, and the belief that knowledge must be passed on, not guarded. Knowledge is the inheritance Korea now gives the world. From improved rice paddies in Africa to resilient livestock in Mongolia, KOPIA's strength lies not only in scientific innovation, but in the trust it builds with communities. Back to Uganda. How knowledge changes a life. As harvest season arrived in Fatuma's village, the results were undeniable. She filled bags of rice she had never filled before. Her children ate full meals. Her oldest daughter returned to school. The science behind it: better spacing, improved seed varieties, water management mattered, but not in the way numbers matter on a report. For Fatuma, what mattered was that the field she once feared had become a place of possibility. Her neighbors came to ask how she did it. She showed them, repeating the lessons she had learned. Soon, entire sections of the village adopted the same methods. What began as a partnership became a chain reaction. This is how KOPIA's work moves, not in grand declarations, but in quiet transformations. The seed that traveled back in time. Across continents, KOPIA's story loops back to that first small institute founded in 1949. It loops back to the scientists who developed Tongil rice. It loops back to Korea's years of scarcity and the determination to overcome them. When Korean scientists kneel in rice paddies in Uganda or vegetable fields in Cambodia, they are not strangers bringing foreign ideas. They are, in a sense, returning to their own past, remembering the hunger their parents and grandparents knew, and ensuring another generation somewhere else does not face the same destiny. And in the rice fields of Uganda, in the orchards of Laos, on the cold plains of Mongolia, that inheritance continues to grow. A global legacy rooted in memory. Fatuma's field is only one of thousands, but it symbolizes what KOPIA truly represents. A nation that remembers its own hunger, choosing to give knowledge instead of forgetting. KOPIA is not merely a program. It is Korea's living promise to the world, a promise that the lessons learned in hardship can become tools of hope for others. In every village where KOPIA seeds take root, the same truth is rewritten again and again. Hunger is not destiny. Knowledge is.
It's time to study new words in context. 1. Defy. Definition: to resist or challenge something, usually something difficult, powerful, or expected. Example: the small plants managed to defy the harsh weather and continued to grow. 2. Handout. Definition: something given for free, especially food or money, without requiring effort or exchange. Example: the villagers preferred training and tools instead of a simple handout. 3. Hybrid variety. Definition: a plant type created by combining two different parent plants to produce better traits, such as higher yield or stronger resistance. Example: farmers chose the hybrid variety because it grew faster and produced more grain. 4. Self-sufficiency. Definition: the ability to meet one's own needs without depending on others, especially in food or resources. Example: Korea achieved rice self-sufficiency in the 1970s through improved farming technology. 5. Persistence. Definition: the quality of continuing to try despite difficulties or failures. Example: through persistence and training, the farmers learned new farming methods. 6. Resilience. Definition: the ability to recover quickly from difficulties or adapt to challenging conditions. Example: the new rice seeds showed resilience during droughts. 7. Dissemination. Definition: the act of spreading information, knowledge, or technology widely to many people. Example: after the pilot project succeeded, the dissemination of the new techniques began across nearby villages. 8. From the ground up. Definition: starting from the most basic level and building upward step by step. Example: KOPIA works with farmers from the ground up, beginning with simple training and expanding to village-wide programs. 9. Tailored. Definition: specifically designed or customized to fit particular needs or conditions. Example: the program offered tailored farming advice based on local soil and climate. 10. Staple crops. Definition: main food crops that form the basic diet of a population, such as rice, wheat, or corn. Example: rice and maize are staple crops for millions of people in Africa and Asia. 11. Lineage. Definition: the line of history or development of something, showing its origins and evolution. Example: the new rice seeds are part of the same scientific lineage that began with Tongil rice. 12. Grove. Definition: small groups or clusters of trees, often of the same type, such as fruit trees. Example: the citrus groves in Laos became healthier after farmers learned modern orchard techniques. 13. Disease-prone. Definition: easily affected by illness or infection, vulnerable to disease. Example: the old peanut variety was disease-prone, so farmers welcomed the new resistant strain. 14. Empathy. Definition: the ability to understand and share another person's feelings or experiences. Example: KOPIA's approach is shaped by Korea's empathy, knowing what it feels like to face hunger. 15. Rice paddies. Definition: flooded fields used for growing rice. Usually found in warm, wet regions. Example: the farmers planted the new seeds in carefully leveled rice paddies. 16. Loop back to. Definition: returns to or connects again with an earlier idea, event, or origin. Example: the success of African rice projects loops back to Korea's own history with Tongil rice.
Comprehension questions. 1. Who is Fatuma, and why is she important in the story? Answer. Fatuma is a rice farmer in Uganda whose experience introduces the impact of KOPIA. Her improved harvest symbolizes how KOPIA transforms the lives of small farmers around the world. 2. What major problem did Fatuma face before KOPIA arrived in her village? Answer. Her rice fields produced low yields, leaving her family with too little food and very little income. 3. What is KOPIA short for? Answer. KOPIA stands for Korea Partnership for Innovation in Agriculture. 4. In what year was the Central Agricultural Technology Institute established in Korea, and why is it historically important? Answer. It was established on January 6, 1949. It marks the beginning of Korea's modern agricultural science system, which later evolved into the Rural Development Administration, RDA. 5. What organization did the early agricultural institutes become in 1962? Answer. They became the Rural Development Administration, RDA. 6. What major agricultural breakthrough did the RDA develop in the 1970s? Answer. The RDA developed Tongil rice, a high-yield hybrid variety that helped Korea achieve rice self-sufficiency. 7. What moral lesson from Korea's history forms the foundation of KOPIA's mission? Answer. Korea remembers its own history of hunger and believes that sharing knowledge, not just aid, is the most powerful way to fight food insecurity. 8. What are the 3 steps in KOPIA's project approach? Answer. 1. Joint research and technology development. 2. Demonstration through pilot farms. 3. Dissemination to villages and communities. 9. How does KOPIA differ from traditional forms of aid? Answer. KOPIA focuses on long-term partnerships and practical agricultural science, rather than temporary food aid or short-term charity. 10. What is the K-Rice Belt, and why is it significant? Answer. The K-Rice Belt is a project across multiple African countries, using Korean-developed rice varieties. It significantly raises yields and helps improve food security across the continent. 11. How much high-quality rice seed was produced in African countries through KOPIA projects in one recent year? Answer. 3,562 tons of elite rice seed. 12. What dramatic improvement occurred in citrus orchards in Laos due to KOPIA's involvement? Answer. Citrus yields increased by up to 853%. 13. What problem does FTMR help solve in Mongolia, and how? Answer. FTMR. Fermented winter feed helps livestock survive harsh winters. It provides high nutrition, leading cattle to gain 40 to 45 kilograms, even in extreme cold. 14. What improvement did the CHM01 hybrid corn bring to farmers in Cambodia? Answer. It increased yields by 9 to 13%, depending on the season, and raised farmer income by 23%. 15. What makes KOPIA's work effective and trusted in partner countries? Answer. KOPIA builds solutions with local scientists and farmers, respects local knowledge, and operates from Korea's shared experience of overcoming hunger. 16. What does the article describe as Korea's inheritance to the world? Answer. Knowledge. The scientific lessons Korea learned while escaping hunger, shared globally through KOPIA. 17. How did KOPIA change Fatuma's life specifically? Answer. Her rice yields greatly increased, allowing her to feed her family comfortably, sell surplus, repair her home, and send her children to school. 18. Why is knowledge considered more powerful than food aid in the article? Answer. Food aid is temporary, but knowledge allows farmers to produce better harvests every year, creating long-term stability and independence. 19. Which continents currently host KOPIA centers? Answer: Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Central Asia. 20. What final message does the article emphasize about hunger and knowledge? Answer: Hunger is not destiny. Knowledge is. KOPIA proves that sharing scientific understanding can change lives and create hope around the world.